got a key to the highway, build I'm bound to go. I'm gonna leave here running, 'cause walking is most slow. I'm going back to the border, where I'm better known, 'cause you haven't done nothing but drove a good man away from home. Give me one more kiss, darling, just before I go, 'cause when I leave this time, I won't be back no more. When the moon peeks over the mountains, I'll be on my way. I'm gonna walk this highway until the break of day. Well, it's so long, baby, I must say goodbye. I'm gonna roam this old highway until the day I die. Well, that was another version of Key to the Highway. I recorded this quite a while ago, and that's a more up-tempo version with a lot of fancy licks. This is more basic, geared to feeling, and it's a slow version. I tapped it out from beginning to end, and I wrote the lyrics under the tap so you know where to sing. Although it's a matter of opinion, of course. You can, if you stretch one word longer, then it doesn't. It's not exactly the same anymore. Anyway, so please do open the video description below for information concerning the tap. It's part of my monster pack, which will contain about 50 taps for a ridiculous amount of money. So let's start. I'm in standard tuning. Here are my E's and the other strings. And let's start with the introduction. So we're bending at the 7th and 8th frets, and I'm using the country blues bass as much as possible. So it's open and it's muted afterwards with the side of my hand here. And I'm using 2 fingers so we have an even sound of those 2 first strings instead of the brush. You can do that too, of course. Triplet. And the song has a, well, a shuffle feel, so it's 1, 2, 3, triplet, 1, 2, 3, like that. B7 and sliding into that A chord and let really ring this. Notice the accenting. Da, 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 da. Now the turnaround, I use it almost after every verse or variations of it. And you can do like a triplet as it is written in the tab. Or and when we end at the D7 here, I'm hammer on and pull off, and the open E string is, it's only hit once, and the open E string is barely audible. And by changing to the A chord, to the E chord, and do a little hammer on there, you see there's a lot happening which is not transcribed. Well, it would have no use. By simply moving from one chord to another chord, you get a little hammer on and pull off. I don't bother in this song to go to the B7, just like Lightning Hopkins. I've got the key. And notice that a lot of those double basses, those shuffles, the second hit is very softly, almost inaudible. I've got the key to the highway. I'm built out and bound to go. I'm gonna leave here running, 'cause walking is most too slow. So, first verse, bar 6, we're using our D-shaped E moved up. Notice the bass. Highway B7. And you also notice that the guitar part, a lot of notes are played very softly. So it's not, I'm gonna keep to the highway. No, I've got a key to the highway. And at the end of the bar 7, this is my favorite open chord, changed to another chord from the B7 to the A. And by going to the shuffle in bar 8, I'm muting, so it's not like this. So that open G string doesn't ring at all, it just... One of my favorite techniques here, walking up that B7 chord. So, I'm built down and bound to go. How soft I'm going to leave here walking, no running, 'cause walking is most too slow. That arpeggio from the B7, 'cause see, I'm singing on the second part of the first beat of the 11th measure. Cause walking, temp, temp, index, middle. We do that the whole song for the B7 there. Bend with the pinky, let it ring into the next measure, the next beat, and then the open E. Playing it with a temp to really accent it. Second verse, I'm going back to the border where I'm better known, 'cause I haven't done nothing but drove a good man away from home. Give me, and so on. So in the second verse, you have a slight variation for the B7 there, and E also. We're doing a shuffle now. I'm going back very softly to the border, walking to the B7. Where I'm better known. Da, 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 da. That's also a variation in the A section there, A chord section. Sorry. And you start singing on the last beat. 'Cause you haven't done nothing but drove a good man away from home. Variation. A little variation on the turnaround. Give me one more kiss, darling, just before I go. 'Cause when I leave this time, I won't be back no more. So, third verse, again with the shuffle in the first, the 22nd measure. Give me one more kiss, darling. And we're going to the B7, 7th fret, only fretting well the two bass strings, and sliding up, slowly sliding up. Give me one more kiss, darling. Sliding down, darling. Just before I go. Another variation in the A7 there. Bar 25. You can do, of course, like that too. Another triplet transition chord. And we've seen that before. More or less the same turnaround, but a little bit accented. We go into the solo before, after that. Let's ring and hit. That's measure 29. the solo. So watch again that measure 29. Mute that last beat to create some tension there. And notice, if you're going to bend that far, and I'm going to do a full bend, see? It's the same as the 10th fret, so you're going to really bend that 9th fret there on the first string. And I use my index, because if you're going to bend that far, chances are that you're going to, when you're going down, you're going to, see, with your fingers, you're going to be able, involuntarily, grab another string, well, the second or the third string. So I use my index to mute those, if that should happen. That's close to the introduction. So, slow going down. Hammer on, B7. Pinky does some work there. Hit it. And walk into the A chords, the partial A chord. Use your third and fourth finger to go to the 7th fret there, second and third string, and then slide into your D7 moved up, so it's an A7 here. Don't bother to fret the first string, and mute the first hit. So one more time. And notice that measure 32, that first beat is not a triplet. Da, da, da. Adding the third finger to the first string, 9th fret. And I'm moving the whole chord up so to kill the sound. So da, 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 move up and play the 9, first string. Or, well, we've seen that before, the walk up of that B7 form, but this time I'm muting with my picking hand. With 2 fingers for the first and the third string. That arpeggio. And now we're gonna bend, release, and play the open 2nd string. So measure 35. And hit with my 2 fingers held together with the nails. And this part of the hand rests when I hit, so those strings will not ring. The open 2nd string may ring, it's no problem, it's part of the chord. And you see, I'm hitting down, index, thumb, and forming the chord, and you create, without picking it, hammer on, of the 3rd and 4th string. And of course we do the pinch of the E strings. Sorry. And then we go to, I forgot what chord this is, it's your B7, your C7, B7 shape, and the outer fingers, 4th and 3rd fingers, move up to the 4th fret. 6th string and 3rd string, so you get this chord. Let it ring into the next beat, and then B7. And again that open. Okay, one more time, measure 35 till the end. When the moon peeks over the mountain, I'll be on my way. I'm gonna walk this highway until the break of day. So we're starting again with our shuffle there. When the moon peeks over the mountain, walk into, well, slide into the B7 on the 5th string. And accent that, you also augment the volume there. So that's a B6, I guess. So triplet. Pinky goes up and down, and then it bends. Goes down again, and well, goes up, and opens 2nd string. So double bass to go into the A chord. And a different turnaround, where the open 6th string acts more as a drone there. So temp, index, temp for every beat. Well, it's so long, baby, I must say goodbye. I'm gonna roam this highway until the day I die. So the last verse, well, it's so long, baby. The long A chord form for the B7. Our transition chord there. I didn't do it much, but you know, I'm able to play with flash. And if I turn my hand slightly, the nail comes into play. So it's a combination of nail and flash, which gives you a nice accent if you're able to do that. So you have to trim your thumbnail so that it can sideways hit it. So it's not allowed to hook behind it, so you have to file that off. So if you can see it, how it looks. Anyway, everybody's stamp is different, so you might experiment there to be able to do that. So we were at the last verse. Well, it's so long. Again with my 2 fingers. So long, baby. I must say goodbye. I'm gonna roam this highway until the day I die. And the ending, it's freely kind of cool. I learned that from Tom van Burgijk. And then we have the B plus chords. 7, 8, 7, 7, 8, 8, 7. And you can use, of course, a bar. I use all my fingers there, and I use my pinky and go into the long E. I noticed one little mistake in the tab, page 2 at the bottom. I'm gonna walk this highway, the words that are written under the tab, well, it should move up a beat. I'm sure you'll notice that. So that's it for Key to the Highway. An immensely cool song, I think. Have fun.